computer. Okay, I'm going to share my screen first. In this session, I'm going to show you how I can just use a remote computer that I logged on through SSH to emulate my XSession from my Windows laptop. So in this case, I'm logged on a remote machine called algorithm. And then if I type in my ID, it shows that I'm W Lutfi as my login name. And if I type in my display, $display, that is coming from this remote sites. And then if I go, who am I can see that I'm logged on from this other machine, SSH from this machine with IP address of .16. So that machine is my Windows machine. If I open a command prompt here, I just get to open a command prompt. And right here, this is a different host. This is my laptop. The host name is laptop this, right? So if I just say ipconfig and then pipe more, and notice that on this one, I'm going to have an IP address of .16 on the same subnet, but notice that is 192.168.254. This is IP version 4. So when I'm logged on in this remote machine that I logged in through SSH, I see this IP address. So my display here on the terminal and bitwise terminal right here that I SSH to, that IP address of 129. Let me just show you that IP address. Here, if I just type in IPA for all address, and then right here, it shows that I'm connecting to this SSH. So here I could say host name, and then if I ping the algorithm, I could also see that I'm pinging the 129. So I know that I am on that machine with this one. I can also verify this one with ifconfig minus A for all, and then grep for all the inet. I can do that, and then you can see this is the loopback, and loopback interface is this one. This is the IP address for the A. So now I know that I'm coming here. The first thing that I need to do is saying that echo $display to make sure that the display is exported from this machine. And the way display is exported on this bitwise, there's an option here. Under this terminal, if you click on this terminal, you can see X11 forwarding is enabled. And it says that through the loopback interface, colon 0.0. 0.0 meaning that display is 0. So this one is display number 10. If I connect again, it's going to be display 11 and so on. That's going to be increment. But whatever is the display here, now I need a terminal emulator in order to have this display. So now if I just type in xterm here, it's going to run because I have a terminal emulator here enabled. And then if I just exit out of this, watch here, on the client side, on the Windows side, I runs a program which is called XMing. This is a client for the terminal emulator. You could do Exceed, you could do XSession of XMing, or you could do VNC. You could do a lot of, especially the terminal emulator like Hummingbird or Reflection or Exceed or XMing would all make it available. VNC is a little bit kind of like a client and as a server, so you can run that one as a combination. You can run the entire session as desktop. But here, all I did was just running XMing. Then if I just set the display, here I did a script called dark green.sh. My dark green.sh. On this one, I'm just basically using only this. These other ones are commented out. So this one is just setting like a nice xterm. Xterm here, the binary is here. And then I'm just using the with title and all that background colors and everything. So all I'm saying is that make sure the color is the format of for foreground. Background is 00 for red, and 15 is for dark green. Blue is also 00. So this is gonna give me a dark green color on the background, and foreground are all white. So this the font is also whatever font I wanted to use here. I defined the font to be Courier, and then the face of font size is 20. And then if I want to do a different font like FA of New York or something, I could just define it here. But all I have to do is now type in my dark green.sh, and it just opens a nice dark green terminal with XSession and there. And I could just, let's say, size this one. The reason that this is nice is that when I go on C++ and I look at some C++ program, let's say I call in words.c++. So when I do this one, nice how nice it looks. It's very kind of nice to look at, and then you could just see it. And then the other thing that with this one, if I didn't like this one only, I could just have 5 different windows, and there's my something.session, my xterm.sh. So I enable all of them on those ones. So I could just say cut my xterm.sh, and then say my xterm.sh. Now I have a dark green, a dark red, and a dark blue and everything. So you can see that the nice screens are there. Xcalc, and then if I want to just use a calculator, I could do xclock. Some of these functions that are already there within the Linux or Unix or any other XSession interface, you could use it. So that means you can do graphics with XSession. You can just create menus and manipulate it. If you write some C++ or Shell or Bash or Python to generate some menu, you can use that one with using this. And then this is like another one nicely formatted in there. Same kind of thing. So you can do it like xterm. You can just add more to it, like minus background. Let's say you don't have to use the F format. You could say dark green, like this, and then minus foreground white, and face is New York, let's say. If you just do that one, it will just create a new window with that information and everything, and then you could run the commands and get the space, get calendar, whatever you want. You could just do that one, and the same thing here. You exit out. Now look at how nice it is, this one there. The format, so you could just really enjoy it. And then this is another color, really nice format. So you could play around with the fonts and color and everything, and whatever you like, you just choose it. And whatever you don't like, you don't you modify it again. So I'm going to do a list here and df-h. Oh, last time also mentioned something with swap. So with memory, you remember with memory, I said this computer has about 15 gig or 16 gig memory. So you can do a swap, free command. It will also give you kilobytes. But if you want to get it in megabyte or gigabyte and human readable, -h would give you in human readable like 15 gig. So you know that the system has 15 gig. There's also proc file system that you can say cat proc/meminfo, and then 5 more. So meminfo, it will just also give you the memory information about the system. That is from the proc file system. And then you can get the CPU info, how many CPUs you have, and then about partition tables, system partitions. So a lot of things are on the proc file system. And notice that proc file system is a pseudo file system. Meminfo it's actually showing 0-byte file. That means that when you're reading it, you're reading from memory. So that's cpuinfo. They're not having a file that is there. Dynamically gets generated from memory. That's why it's called pseudo file system. So I'm going to stop on this topic here. And at this time, I'm going to also stop recording for it. Let me stop recording.